Forced apologies don't teach empathy. Most of the time, we force our kids to apologize to minimize the embarrassment that we feel about their behavior. We force them to apologize even when they don't feel sorrow or remorse. If you believe, and I think you should, that your child's behavior isn't intentionally malicious, then let me explain to you why the forced apology is not a great idea. Let's just say your kid was playing with a toy and another kid comes and takes that toy, and your child grabs it in an aggressive way or hits the kid because they took the toy. So now kids, especially young kids, are very egocentric. The only thing that matters to them is what's important to them and the here and now. So understanding someone else might have wanted to play with that toy or that someone else was interested in something is not anything that's on their mind. They could care less about how someone else felt in that moment. That also means they could care less about how that person felt when they hit them. They can't see outside of themselves and things that impact them at this point. So when you force them to apologize in this moment when they're upset, when their needs are not being met, the only thing that they are learning is that I say sorry when I'm angry. I say sorry when my need is not being met. Understand that they are still learning language. So language is being learned in context. So if their understandings that apologies are happening when my needs are not being met, when I'm upset, when I'm angry, when this kid took something from me, this is when I say sorry, they're not actually learning the full and the true meaning of that word. You're not helping them to see someone else's perspective. So instead of the forced apology, you can model for them. Of course, you want to give them the tools to respond more appropriately in this kind of situation. And you also help them see the perspective of the other child, which they're not going to get right away. But you model the apology. You can say, "Oh, I'm sorry, so-and-so. Did that hurt you? Did it hurt you when so-and-so hit you? I'm sorry. I'm sure they didn't mean to hurt you." And then we'll have a conversation that's separate. So modeling the apology is the best way for them to understand the meaning of the apology and how to use it appropriately, not when they're feeling and like caught up in their own feelings and doing it resentfully. The other way to teach children to apologize and actually mean it is to apologize to them in the moments when they feel upset or when you've done something wrong. So that means simple things. When you bump into them, you trip. "I'm sorry, baby. Did that hurt? I didn't mean to hurt you." You're modeling an authentic apology. When you yell at them or you lose your cool and you see that they're scared or nervous afterward, when you calm down, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. I didn't want to scare you. That wasn't my intention. I didn't mean to do that. I can see what I did made you feel this way. I'm sorry." So once again, you're modeling how to see someone else's perspective. You're modeling how, when I think about how what I do impacts someone else, that's when I apologize. So it may not happen right away. You have to take your ego out of it because you're embarrassed that your kid didn't say "I'm sorry," but model the apology if you think that's really important. Say "I'm sorry" for your child so they can see it in action. Don't force them to do it when they're caught up in their own feelings and are still at a stage when they can only think about themselves.